Hello everyone, welcome. Today we have quite an interesting video. We are talking about utility versus meme. Why am I talking about this? Well, mainly for the recent explosion of the coin Pepe skyrocketing through the roof, getting mainstream coverage. Now I'm seeing in a lot of comment sections, mainly utility-based cryptocurrency holders, they're quite frustrated, right? Not only are they missing out on gains, but they're holding utility cryptos that have real-world value and real-world use case. And here we have out of nowhere a coin with no inherent value, skyrocketing through the roof. Having listings in such of tier 1 exchanges as Binance, and we know on the channel there's mainly utility-based cryptocurrencies not getting those tier 1 listings that we speak about. Firstly, there's a few things we need to go over until we go into that information. So, number one, meme coins are actually quite useful. If you play the game correctly, rotating those short-term profits into your long-term holds. For example, here we have Big Dan rotating his Pepe bag to QNT for the long term. Number two, it proves how early we are in the market and what can actually happen in an unregulated market. Moving towards regulations, here we have European Parliament passing MiCA. And we can see even further down that allowing companies to operate throughout the entire EU market with MiCA license granted in one country, making it passportable to all 27 countries. Also back in November, Ripple seeking Ireland license, plans for Europe expansion. With the last point, we have retail's focus. Retail is focused on Pepe. When we talk about financial institutions, corporate, government, they're focused on these utility cryptocurrencies, and our time will come. Do not be tempted to sell your diamonds with pebbles. It is the other way around. So in today's video, I'm going to focus on recent news with these utility-based cryptocurrencies. Then towards the end of the video, talking about Pepe. Do I hold it? Did I buy it? Everything to do with memes at the end. So stay tuned for that. Also, check out a decent hardware cobalt links down below. A good alternative to Ledger. Main good point is that it's actually really quick with getting new coins listed. For example, Pepe here is supported coin on that list, and all the utility cryptos listed in today's video is supported. Check out the links down below. Now moving on to utility. So number one, we have Ripple / XRP. Here we have a report here, the African Blockchain Report 2022 in collaboration with Standard Bank. And on page 27, we can see here a whole page dedicated to Ripple. How Africa is leapfrogging into a digital payments future. These reports are coming out quite recently, including this one. We saw with Tesla the links that had to Avery Dennison, including Hedera. Now we can see a proposal here for Ripple's payment solution on-demand liquidity and how it can actually benefit and modernize Africa's payment system, enabling seamless cross-border payments. You can see the actual graph here of Ripple's locations within Africa proposing on-demand liquidity. Also, we can see here a new report, World Economic Forum, pushing through undercurrents on page 58. We can see here, standardizing CBDC security protocols and the interoperability of CBDC systems with other digital currency systems, example, RippleNet, and traditional payment systems, example, SWIFT, Target2, Fedwire, across regions should be a primary consideration to ensure uniformity of security standard. This is what everyone's focus should be on. This is what's really more important here going forward when we talk about CBDC and CBDC systems. For example, the recent report with Juniper Research projected to go from $100 million to $213 billion by 2030, and Ripple was ranked number one, ahead of the likes of Stellar itself, MasterCard, and many more. Also, we'll see here by FCX Intelligence, the 2023 Cross-Border Payments 100 among many names, big names, we have Ripple and Stellar. Keeping in mind this growth with CBDC's real use case, real world value, moving on now to Quant Community, a little quick clip here of Gilbert Verdine talking about the difference between CBDC's more rather private permission than public and open.
What we're seeing is mostly going to be private permission chains rather than public, decentralized, permissionless blockchains. So having interoperability in the central bank digital currency context means the interbank network between the central bank and the commercial banks, and how they integrate with each other and how they interoperate with each other, and then linking that to the traditional rails.
We talk about XRP's value when it comes to CBDCs, but also value when it comes to Quant Network. How do these CBDCs speak to each other, especially when it comes to private permissioned blockchains? That is the difficult part, and that's where the value comes from. And that's why it's so much better to invest in cryptos set to benefit from this huge market approaching rather than memes. This is obviously from FT Live. We had Gilbert Verdian, CEO and founder, speaking with Tom Mutton, director, CBDC, Bank of England. Swiftly moving on, not too much news with other cryptocurrencies, but there is still news, and this is huge for XDC. Singapore completes first cross-border electronic transferable record trade. Why is this important? Well, we talk about trade finance, the digitization of trade finance, closing that multi-trillion-dollar gap, and the market itself is in the 8-figure realm of trillions of dollars. Specific to this article, we can see here the trade was conducted using Singapore's Trade Trust Framework. Now, not too long ago, I remember myself seeing that you could verify documents on the XDC mainnet. Not there anymore. Not sure as to why, but we should see that again very soon. Now, when it comes to XDC, once the electronic trade documents bill is in fruition, I think it's June/July 2023, so not long now. It's going to bring more value to XDC, more value to the ecosystem, therefore increasing the price of this asset. Another reason why it's better than a meme coin for the long term. Now moving on to Hedera, we're coming towards the end of this year. A little clip from Robin Janaway, former head of NFTs at Outlier Ventures, Web3 advisor, venture partner, Primal Capital. He touches on Hedera in terms of tokenization.
Of tokenizing assets and probably representing them as NFTs. I think this will likely be on other chains. I think this likely will be on the likes of Hedera rather than Ethereum. And obviously tokenization is going to become such a huge thing.
Massive. Yeah.
And I think maybe either Hedera or new chains that are being built specifically around that kind of security tokenization of real world assets. So, and that essentially will be a digital asset or NFT. It's just going to be in a very different form.
In terms of tokenizing, we can talk about tokenizing securities, right? $1 trillion market once again. Here we have AB, RD, and Aberdeen, governing council member, looking to tokenize their securities portfolio on Hedera. This is huge. We also have DLA Piper, Toko by DLA Piper, another governing council member. This is the very purpose that they are built for. $1 trillion in value. Also moving on to an indirect solution being proposed with Hedera, not even being mentioned here. I can see Crypto T, there are 400,000 pending transactions on the Bitcoin network, and the Binance halted transaction due to the congestion and high network fees. When it comes to Hedera, we can get 400,000 transactions under 10 minutes. If anything, this proves that true decentralization, in my opinion, is not 100% efficient. Neither is 100% centralization. We have to have something that's in the middle. There's a middle ground there you find with Hedera. It is the most decentralized governance. Yes, it is, leading organizations, but the way that it is actually orchestrated, it is fair, right? If you actually do your own research and your terminology of centralization, decentralization is actually correct. Finally, moving on to LCX, last one. Now, when I make videos about this, people know what XRP is, people know what QNT is, people know the other cryptos except LCX. There's not too much new news going on, so I've left a fantastic thread here by Francisco going into every detail, tokenomics, recent news, partnerships, everything involved with LCX. I will leave it down below. Moving on to the final part of the video, after we've spoken about utility, the real value, what's going on in the market with these cryptocurrencies. Is it reflected in price right now? No, it is not, but it will in the bull market approaching soon, in 2024, in my opinion, right? Soonish. So, meme coin, did I buy? Will I buy? No, I will not, especially not in these market conditions. I did during 2021. That was when I was rolling profit from other cryptocurrencies. So if I lost that profit, it didn't really matter. It was just profit. But in this market, there is no profit off these cryptocurrencies unless you're shorting or you're playing the game very correctly with mini bear market rallies. But it's not worth it, especially when you can use a $100, $200, whatever you throw away into these meme coins into killer all-time low prices like HBAR, like XDC, where that value will tenfold in the future. But that is pretty much it for today's video. Hope you are feeling good about your utility cryptocurrencies. Know that, feel happy for these other people. If they're making profit, that is fair enough. You either play the game of meme coins, you play these anti-fundamental coins, or you simply ignore it and stay continued with your DCA method. But if you made this far in the video, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.